Audience, audience, audience. Okay. Okay, to bit or not to bit? That is the question. Now don't be afraid, we're not talking about Hamlet here. We're going to be talking about whether or not to ride your horse with a bit. So I want to share with you a little bit about what a bit is, what it's made of, and different types of bits or bitless riding to use. Now I first thought when I saw a bit that they were the most cruel and unusual looking things on the face of the earth. I thought, why would you put that in a horse's mouth? It looks terrible. The right choice of a bit can make or break your riding experience with a horse. If the bit is too harsh, your horse is going to fight it and buck and carry on, and you're not ever going to want to get on a horse again. Too soft, you will not be able to control the horse and communicate with it. There are even some riders that prefer to ride without a bit. So, now imagine you are on this uncontrollable 1,500-pound rocket, and it's hell-bent to take you into that fence. How do you stop it? How do you turn it? A bit is used as a communication device. It lets your horse know how fast or how slow to go, whether to speed up, slow down, or stop altogether. M.A. Stoneridge, in her horse, A Horse of Your Own, printed in 1990, discusses how a bit uses pressure to let a horse know how and where to move. So it puts pressure on this, which is the bar, on the corners of the mouth, and on the tongue. The level of training that the rider has will determine what kind of bit to use, as well as what level of training the horse has. The less experienced rider needs a softer bit, as does the less experienced horse. So if it's a communication device, what is it made of? Well, bits are generally made of stainless steel. Here's two different types here. And some of them have rollers in the middle, like this one. Sometimes these rollers are made of what's called sweet metal, which helps the horse salivate so that they don't get sores in their mouth. So it sits on the mouth and the bars. Now, you know what a bit is. You know how it fits. What about the different styles? Well, there's 5 types. There's the pelham, the gag, the curb bit, the snaffle, and the egg butt. What I have here is a curb bit, and according to the MJEyler brothers, who wrote A Whole Bit Better, this is the gentlest bit around. So this fits under the chin. This goes over the tongue. It doesn't pinch the tongue in any way, shape, or form. It just puts pressure on the tongue. Whereas this one, a snaffle bit, is a lot more harsh because it could pinch the tongue and the sides of the mouth. Now with the snaffle bit, how thick or thin that middle piece is determines on how harsh that bit is. The thinner, the more harsh or the painful the bit is. Now you may think that these things look like medieval devices, like I said. Is there anything else you can use? Well, of course, there's all kinds of bitless bridles that can be used. There's bozals, there's hackamores, and this is a side pull, and then there's also variations on all of those. And on the internet, I found this lovely website with an article by MJEyler out of bitless.com.co.uk, where she talks about riding bitless. Now this side pull, like I showed you, puts pressures on the sides of the nose, so it turns the head, actually physically turns the head, and the pull, which brings the head forward, which stops the horse. Now, bitless riding can be used if a horse has never used a bit or resists a bit. or the bit that has been used in the horse has been too harsh, or they've had an inexperienced rider just sawing on the horse's mouth, so their mouth is very abused. So you know about bitless riding, you know about different kinds of bits, you know about different books and websites, you can go look up information. So depending on the level of training in particular circumstances, the communication tool uses the mouth, the lips, the tongue to guide and direct. They're made of stainless steel, and some of them are coated with what's called sweet metal. These help keep the horse's mouth from getting sore. There's 5 different types of bits: curves, gags, egg butts, snaffles, and pounds. And there's 3 main types of bitless riding: hackamores, bozal, and side pulls. So choosing whether to use a bit or not takes time and effort. You may need to use several different types of bits till you find one that gives you and your horse the maximum communication so that you can have the best riding experience.